All right, we got another hyperspace league league match between Steven and Thomas. Steven's on the left-hand side with the five with ion turrets, and Thomas is on the right. He has as a main. I'm probably mispronouncing that. That scum ship, the one that throws the bombs with the 3 turns and three banks. He also has 2 Skull Squadron pilots with Fearless on them. His Azamain has 2 sets of bombs. He has protons and seismics. He also has Boba Fett. That's why he's lined up there in the middle. He's going to try to throw that bomb and see if he can't hit any of Steven's Y-Wings in the first turn. Maybe get him chasing and then continue to drop the bombs as he goes. He's placed in the middle. I don't know how Boba Fett works. I got to check on that, but you'd think he'd want to be a little closer to the Y-Wings, but I didn't watch their setup. I got to see how that guy sets up. So he didn't choose to drop a bomb here either. And he probably, if he would have, then Steven, I think, would have just 2-turned and barreled, and it would have missed anyways. This is going to be an interesting match for both players. Obviously, the Y-Wings, they're very efficient. They just want to get lined up and joust you a whole bunch. Thomas is going to have the opportunity, especially with bombs, to potentially out PS kill one of them. That could be in the first round of shooting. That could be very helpful for him. He's just got to hope his dice stay good. Steven is 2-turning in his Y-Wings here. I think he pulled a couple of... Yeah, he got 2 target locks on Azamine. Of course, Thomas's... the way Azamine works, he's going to want Steven chasing him. So if he had the opportunity to set up on the closest rock to the Y-Wings, I don't know why he wouldn't have, but mostly because that would have given him a really good opportunity to throw that bomb first round. Of course, Steven's a veteran player. He probably would have seen that coming and found a way out of it, but at least he would have been messing with his joust right off the bat. Thomas chose to, looks like 3-turn towards the top side of the board. His Fang fighters are going to, let's go 5 straight, get into combat, or try to hurry up and get into that range 1. Those Fang fighters are really good. They have fearlessness, so when they get up in range 1, they do a lot of damage. They're really efficient at that range, especially both offense and defense. So I was cutting this match last night, and I was watching the first couple rounds, and Thomas does a really good job of really pinning Steven with his back against the wall early. But one good thing about the Fang fighters is that they're very efficient at range 1, but the real bad thing is that if they don't do their job early, they can get themselves into trouble. It's round 2 of the match. So system phase, no bomb throw. Of course, probably wouldn't have been a good idea if he did, but he could have. He could throw a seismic at 3-turn and get that small rock. Yeah, but it wouldn't have gotten Steven. I think Steven knows that. He's not going to get around. He's not going to give him any easy bomb drops. Stephen one banking all his Y-wings. Of course, having 5 of them. There today, when we recorded these matches, there were 4 or 5 players with 5 ship lists. So there were matches with 10, 11 ships on the board. I mean, I think every match went to time almost. Thomas talent rolls. That's a really good move on the period. So when they gave it to a lot more ships, it's become even better. Though he's going to have to take some time to get the ships behind him where he wants them again. So let's see how this works for him. Looks like he's going to 3 straight with the Skull Squadrons, which is good. Like I've always said, you want to engage the Y-wings at range 3 first. Especially the front one. If you can pull that off, then you're in a situation where you're probably only taking 1 or 2 shots from the Y-wings, especially the way Stephen's lined up. Thomas really has a really good engagement right off the bat on him. It's going to be range 3 of that front one from all 3, meaning that if anyone gets a shot in return, it's not going to be the double tap. So Thomas is going to fire as a main first, which is good. I always that's what I always do too. Like if I have a focused fire and I have one of them that's unmodded, I use the unmodded first to because then it kind of drives how I want to spend my tokens on the next couple. And if it's a straight up whiff, okay, I might be a little more cautious. But if I hit and the next ones, it maybe there might be an opportunity for me not to have to spend the focus or whatever it might be. He rolled natties, it's good. So Stephen rolled. He's going to spend 2, he's going to take 1 there. See, and this is something that happens here in this first round is Stephen's going to roll with 1 green dice and evade like 4 times in a row. His green dice are really good for him. That's why he carries 2 sets, and when he needs one to roll and evade, he'll pull certain ones, but if he needs something to roll blank, he'll pull a different one. That's just smart. If you know your dice. Stephen's one of the rare occasions where his regional dice actually work for him. So it looks like he's 2 in a hole in that bottom Y-wing. He might have whiffed on that shot, which is unfortunate. He could have rolled focuses, maybe he wanted to keep it for defense or whatever. That's what I mean about that. Spending your tokens, you just decide, because he's going to take all the shots back here. I think he's going to take maybe 3 Y-wing shots, maybe. And I think they're all going to miss. Let's see how he does here. Or he might take 1 damage out of this. But he has that front Y-wing only has 4 hit points left, and if he probably couldn't have killed it right, so he probably decided to keep the token for defense. But that's unfortunate because that was his. I mean, you saw him get the Y-wing down and 2 into hole, that's what you want. You got him his back against the wall. Yeah, see, there's 1 card over there on the Skull Squadron. Yeah, so he took 1 damage in that exchange. So it's probably net even considering the amount of ships on the board. Maybe a little bit in Stephen's favor. They're going to show the card. I try to make it a habit for everyone to show their damage so that the viewers, they can keep up without an interface. So that's what I got to do. All right, so we're going to go into turn 3 here. So it's been a pretty active game so far. Turn 3, this is where Thomas is hoping to kill something, hopefully. And he has a good opportunity here. So Stephen's going to come. It looks like a 2 bank maybe. and he looks like he's trying to jam up if anyone's trying to come in fast, which is smart. That's the injured one. Don't put it in a predicament. Use it to jam stuff up. If you get lucky and it doesn't die this round, it can 4K next round or whatever it might be. So really good movement. And so you can see he's going to one straight the rest of them here. Going to create a nice little kill box. Hopefully he gets a jam. If not, that thing's out of danger, whatever it might be. Now, Thomas does a couple really good moves here. I was watching it and I was thinking, well, what would I do in this circumstance? And he does almost exactly what I would have done, except with Azomane. Because of where Azomane is, he's going to turn him and try to get him in a position to start throwing bombs again, which is what you want. But I think you have a really prime opportunity here just to have one-straighted him and kill that Y-Wing. Go ahead and sacrifice it. So the top one is definitely what I would have done. I think it's a 4K, 4 or 5. I can't remember if they have a 4 or 5K. I definitely would have done. That's a really good move. It's going to keep it out of harm's way a little bit for the most part. And the other one, I would have either 4K'd it or I would have 3-banked it. He's going to 2-bank it in here, which is smarter because that means he wouldn't have probably been jammed up. If I did a 3-bank, it probably would have jammed up, but it's going to set him up. The only bad thing about this move is that you're only going to potentially have 2 shots on the wounded Y-Wing. You want all the shots on the wounded Y-Wing. You want it dead. You need to take it when a list like the Y-Wing is that efficient. You want to be able to kill his efficiency as fast as possible. I think he's going to barrel roll and focus here, which I think I would have done the same thing if you could have boosted up maybe and then. But it's probably smarter this way. He wants to get Concord Dawn to trigger, and right now he probably has it triggering on 1. If he can work it right, he could probably get triggering on 2, which is good. Now, Azomane's going to 1-bank, I believe. And I understand what he's doing because he has a boost. But the only thing that I don't like about that move, so I think 1 straight would have fit, and then you could have target locked or focused. The one thing I don't like about that shot is to kill that one in front of him, he's going to have to boost. And that means he's going to have 2 unmodded shots on that almost dead Y-Wing. He has to do 4 damage to it with 7 dice coming at it unmodded. So he's going to take the range 2. This is where Steven's dice kind of start getting hot and starts frustrating Thomas a little bit. two naturals off unmodded. That's really good, right? So he rolls 1 evade. It's like, oh my goodness, this is 1 hit goes through. You'd hope to see both. So now he has 3 hull. So now 4 shots are going to come from the next one. Now Steven does have a focus, so he has mods on his defense, so that's where I'd like to have seen modded shots. So two hits, and so that obviously wouldn't be enough to kill him. He rolls 1 evade, so he has 2 hit points left. And that's what I mean. And you're going to see this. I think another shot's going to come in. So that's 2 rolls where he rolled a natural evade. I think he's going to roll 1 here. He used Concord Dawn. There's a couple conversations about Concord Dawn and how it worked. So 4 hits, really good, right? See, I believe he rolled another evade. That's 3 evades in a row on one dice. I don't remember what the crit is. He showed it to me. I think it's the one where he can't modify his dice. It might be Blinded Pilot, but I could be wrong. He rolled 2 hits there, I think. Yeah, or 2 focuses. He spent his target lock and his focus to get those. Lost 2 shields. Looks like he dodged the ion shot. Alright, looks like Steven's starting with the back, which is smart. It's not range 1, so he's not going to get Concord Dawn. 2 hits. Let's see how Steven did. Looks like he evaded the ion shot. Two hits. Alright. Looks like a target lock of some sort. No focus. So you're going to take 1 damage. It's that front Concord Dawn. So it looks like he might have rolled 2 evades. Or he might have got ioned here. I believe at some point he gets ioned here. We spend the focus and dodge. It's just probably smart. The he's got Concord Dawn on the next 2 shots. Even though Steven has more dice, Concord Dawn's going to help him out a little bit. Looks like he has a range 3 on Azamane.
Can I just...
So got another range 3 shot at Azamane, trying to wear down on Azamane back there. Let's see what he's got. He got two hits. Looks like maybe an evade in there. Oh, maybe 2 evades. He's unmodded, so he wouldn't be able to flip any focuses. So again, Thomas is in a really good spot here. One hit. Looks like it was evaded. 2 evades. And 4 hits. That's gonna put something through. So it's gonna be a hit and an ion. So half hull on the Skull Squadron pilot. 1 ion is gonna cause a little bit of problems in his next move. Alright, looks like we're going on to the 4th round. Is it going to be a good opportunity for Steven to drop a bomb? I think, I was watching this, and I think I would have probably used 3 bank or 3 straight. I kind of to me, I would think that Y-wing is going to turn up towards the top of the board because it's injured and it doesn't want to die. He's going to drop a 1 here, which isn't a bad idea. It's just that's very easy to avoid. And I think even if you would have missed that front one with a 3 straight or a 3 bank, that you would have at least got a couple of the back ones. With that move, you're really only going for that front one. So see, I think it's 2 turning up here. I think it's going to barrel roll down to get out of the way of that bomb, which you'd probably expect that. So I kind of expected that one to go up, just try to stay out of danger. But of course, if he probably would have used a 3, he might have hit his other Skull Squadron pilots. Would have been bad with a proton bomb. See, the other guys, they're probably just going to mosey up. If they got that one almost dead, they probably want to... They probably want to trap it and get it killed as much as possible. So Thomas still has the advantage here, which is good. He's forcing Steven into a bunch of moves he probably doesn't want to make and being unmodded. He's trying to trap that top Fang fighter in a bad position, which you probably will hear. But Steven still has, or Thomas still has the opportunity to take advantage of this and maybe take that once off the board and maybe put another one into a bad situation, depending on what he does with Azamane. He's gonna bump here. So again, Thomas has a bunch of unmodded ships. There's 2 of them that have target locks. Oh, maybe he didn't bump there. But still, he's I think the only real move it has is a 2 turn. I can't believe that didn't make it that one straight. It seems like, I guess it's the angle, but you think the angle of it was that it would have made it, but it's probably good that it didn't. It gives them at least a shot on that with Concord Dawn. Now that other one's going to just 2 turn. That's probably the only move it could have done, especially if you're deciding to drop a bomb. So Azamane, he banked up, but that's unfortunate a little bit because all right, the first couple shots coming in. As the bank up, it doesn't give him a good shot on the wounded one, which is what he wants. So This is the tough thing is he wants to kill the one with only 2 hit points. He's not going to get that opportunity. Thomas is going to get 2 range 1 shots on an unscathed Y-Wing. He'll do a pretty good job against. He's going to roll pretty well. I think that's an evade. I think he just rolled another evade again. Those are straight natural evades. Which has got to be a little frustrating. That's not going to happen too often. I mean, it's happened to me before. I've flown 1 agility ships, and they'll surprise you sometimes, but they'll also let you down every other time. So let's see. So there's another range 1 shot coming in. Again, with Concord Dawn, it's going to give him an opportunity for more hits. Of course, unmodified, it's going to be the bad thing, but let's see how he does here. 2 hits again, so I think if he rolls an evade, he does. And that's so if you're counting, that's probably like what, five in a row. So when that happens, of course it can go the other way, right? The red dice is supposed to be better than the green, but in this case, it's effectively reducing Thomas's combat effectiveness by 50% when you roll 2 hits and he rolls 1 evade every time. So makes it a little bit difficult, especially with 8 hit points on the Y-Wings. Now Chris Stevens gonna try to return the favor here. So there's only gonna be, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Well, he's not gonna be able to focus fire, which is probably okay, but the front 2 Y-Wings are obviously going to be able to shoot the ships that they're facing. So they're discussing the arcs and Concord Dawn and all that stuff. Oh, a crit goes through. That must have been the primary. I believe that's on the blue Fang fighter, the top one. Looks like 2 from the ion. I'm going to roll into 2 more hits. Looks like a hit and an ion. So both Thomas's skull fighters are into hull or half points. I believe Thomas gets the rest of this unscathed, which, if I remember correctly, he walks out of this one with 2 of his ships being half point. Of course, as a main, it's kind of not in a good spot. I mean, you want to focus firing to happen. You need to be removing Y-Wings at this point. You actually wanted to remove them last round and working on another one this round, but if you can get the Y-Wings where you're fighting 2 or 3, or 3 or 4 to your 2 or 3, that's probably where you want to be next round. No bombs. Steven's going to rotate his turret to the back. I think he's just going to mosey all of his ships up, turn his turrets backwards, and try to continue to keep those ships ionized. Thomas plays really good here. He plays the Fang Fighters really good. He's going to Talon roll. I think I would have Talon rolled the other way, but I mean, he puts it in a good position because the one right in front of him is the injured one, so he wants to keep shooting at that one. But the way he Talon rolls, he won't. I don't know that he gets a shot on it again. And I think he had an opportunity to really kind of put some more damage into that one. So again, the game has given, Thomas all the opportunity to win. He's going to move up here. This is going to be good because it's going to get the bottom that Fang Fighter to bump. He's going to try to do the same thing here. Maybe no. He's going to turn it down. But this round again favors Thomas because Steven's going to have to turn all of his turrets, and all of his stuff's going to be unmodded. So Thomas is going to make a good move here. The yellow one's going to Talon roll, which is a good move. I think I would have Talon rolled up, though. But he's going to Talon roll down. He's only going to have one shot again here, so I believe Azamain Talon rolls towards the bottom of the board, putting himself behind that rock. But again, it's just going to be an area where he's not going to have any shots. We were talking about that Talon roll, and if you notice, Steven made it do the turn first and then turned it, and that was the way they tried to rule it in this last Toronto System Open, and then they came back and overturned it. And I was explaining to Steven, he's saying, that's what the rules say, but if you read it, the rules don't say that. What they say is, before you do it like it's a turn, but before you place the ship down, you turn it 90 degrees. And that's the part that a lot of people miss. And then I think the misunderstanding part of it too is that it says if you can't make the maneuver that you don't rotate. Well, that means when you place it down, if you can't place it down in the turn maneuver, you can't do it then. But otherwise, you don't make the turn first. One more damage onto Thomas's Blue Fang Fighter, and I believe it has 1 hit point left. It's probably going to die this round. Oh, it evaded. It's really good if it did. I believe it has 3 shots coming back at it now, and if it would have evaded, that's really good. Especially with no modifications. Okay, what happened there was he called Concord Dawn, and Concord Dawn would not have triggered. It's got to be out of the front arc. It specifies the front painted arc on the card, so it's not just in arc at range 1. It is in the front painted arc at range 1. Now, Concord Dawn is really good. It's just not that good. So he would have to be in its front painted arc for it to count. And I'll have to double check. I don't even think that might. I think even if it's a turret shot out of that front arc, I think it still counts because it's coming out of that front. But I'd have to double check. I don't think there's a stipulation that it has to be primary. I think as long as it's out of that arc, that it counts. But that's some of the new wonky rules of FFG. So we're entering into the next round, and that yellow skull squadron pilot is going to have 1 hit point left, I believe. Azumane is going to have a hard time too because she's going to go over the rock, and she's going to be actionless. And again, you want to try to get that that Y-wing that's floating out there at the top of the board. Looks like Steven's turning all his Y-wings up to trap Azumane. That's going to give him a lot of options, especially even if he leaves the arc pointing backwards. He can still fire out of the front and out of the back. But the only, I think, saving grace Thomas is going to have here is that he will be able to, regardless if he's ionized or not, he'll still be able to throw those bombs. And so if he gets a couple good moves here, he'll still have the opportunity to use his bombs. Azumain has a 3 straight, and as far as it could have gone with a blue maneuver. He's going to roll for his rock. Rolls nothing, maybe? Yeah. So, again, Azumain's had probably all unmodded shots this game, which isn't going to help your chances of winning. I think Thomas puts a good amount of damage into another Y-Wing here. He does have... I think he winds up... I don't know, not a lot of points, but he does wind up injuring quite a few of these. So he has 2, at least in the half. So he has 2 very wounded Y-Wings. I mean, not enough, obviously. We're probably closing in on 20 minutes left in the game. Yep, he's going to go after the same guy. One hit. Yeah, see, unmodified is going to be tough. And there's his evade. Yeah, Y-Wings don't evade that much, but they did today. And there goes the last of the Skull Squadrons. It looks like he was killed by an ion turret, so even with the focus for modification. Azumain's still healthy here, but he's got a lot of work to do before she's back into this game. So entering, I believe, the 6th round. Could potentially kill 2 Y-Wings, but I think you'd have to kill 3 to win at this point. Looks like Steven's trying to set up a kill box for Azumain, which he should. Hopefully, we'll see. Hopefully, Thomas escapes here with the ability to shoot. There's still too many Y-Wings on the board. Let's see what Azumain does. And it looks like a 3 bank down. See, Thomas is making a bunch of really good moves this game. It's just his dice aren't working out for him. A boost, and I understand the boost, but again, it's another unmodified shot. So it's going to be tough. And see how it works out for him. Yeah, 1 hit there, and that's just not going to cut it. I think that one's closer to death, but not close enough. Looks like Azamane's finally into hole. That was the primary shot. Here comes the ion shot. So I believe that's one more damage, one more ion, but the ion effect will not affect until that medium base ship gets 2 ion tokens. Azamane's going to drop a bomb here. She has not hit too many people with those bombs yet, which is unfortunate because that's kind of what you're hoping for. I watched him play a couple other games where he just completely annihilated people with those bombs. If you get them in the right position, they're good, but he just couldn't maneuver to get Steven where he wanted him to be. This is going to be the last round. I believe he winds up getting one of these Y-Wings. And then half on the other. This bomb's going to explode. I believe he gets 2. He's going to put himself in a position where he's going to 2-turn, and Thomas is going to boost towards the bottom of the board, and he's going to get ioned, and then so they check for the one straight after that, and it would have gone off the board. So he conceded after that point, but I'm going to let this roll. Hope you enjoyed the match. I will get it up on YouTube soon.